So good morning, everybody. Great to have you here with us again.
Yeah, here we are doing Brunch Business again.
But inside today, it's a bit dismal outside. Too cold for me. But look, we're going to go back onto one of our favourite subjects, and that's self-branding. I know that you've heard us talk about it before, but we're going back to it because it doesn't matter how much we look around, we see that there's a lack of that self-pride, that ability to understand what self-branding's about. And
really, if you think about it, within a business, if you're working for somebody, you're actually a business within a business. You are your own business. And if you, what's that quote of Warren Buffett's? He says that
it takes you 20 years to create a reputation and 5 minutes to lose it.
That's right, exactly, and ruin it totally. So if you think along those lines, man, you do a lot of things differently, I think.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that you're building your reputation all the time. That
Every
20
day.
years isn't something that you just do in 5 minutes and have it for 20 years. You're constantly building it, and you've got to be thinking about that all the time for your own self, to make sure that you understand yourself, what you're doing for yourself. And that's what it's all about. It's self-branding to create self-pride, which becomes the momentum behind everything of getting you there with it. And that's so important.
So you're setting yourself up for your future. So whether you're 20 or 35 or even 59 like me, every day you're setting
59.
Yes, I am.
She doesn't like telling people that normally. But anyway.
So I guess before we get into the reasons why that, maybe we should give them some steps, the people some steps that they could take.
Well, you can, most definitely. You know, we had this discussion earlier this morning about self-branding because we presented just the other morning to a group of people on this subject as part of their training process. And the reaction from them was, at first it was like, what are you talking about? And then you could see the cogs turning over as they were thinking about what they are and what they represent to themselves. And a couple of them could understand how they were letting themselves down the way that they'd presented themselves on the morning. And they just didn't want to face us at the time. They were looking around the room and you could see they weren't happy with the way they dressed themselves. They'd taken no care with their hair and unshaven. It was just amazing. Anyway, sorry.
So I guess what we talk about is to set yourself up for the next day before you go to bed of a night time. What I do is, and it's a great little ritual to have, is to get yourself a journal and ask yourself some quality questions. So one of the questions could be, what am I grateful for today? What happened today that you're grateful for? Whether it was I'm grateful for that I had a beautiful cup of tea, or whether I'm grateful for the people around me, whatever it is. And then the next one is, what do you want to acknowledge yourself for? So what you did that might have been great, or that you might have completed something. So ask that question. And the next one, I think, Gary, is how can I improve myself tomorrow? So what can you do for yourself tomorrow that you can improve on? And then make a promise to yourself. I promise to do the dishes before I go to work, say for instance, and make it a simple promise that you can actually complete. So and I always find once I say to myself, I'm going to give each one of them 3 answers, I end up giving more because there's a lot I'm grateful for and there's a lot I should acknowledge myself for and yourself, don't you think?
Yeah, and the whole thing that you're talking about there is you're talking about your self-discipline, which becomes part of your self-branding and the self-pride in the way that you have everything around you and your environment, which creates a lot more ease in your life because you don't have a feel of clutter.
Yeah, that's right.
And things happening. So
and you can let things go. Yeah. So you can let go of any stress or anything. It's just a great way of relieving yourself of any of the thoughts and that you've carried through the day. Yep. So I guess that's our first little step-taking exercise that we think is important for you as you start your journey into self-branding. So that's our brunch business for today. Yep. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next step in the self-branding exercises.
Okay, we'll probably talk about that next week. Thanks very much, guys. Good to have you with us. Bye for now.
Bye. Keep smiling.